What do you guys eat nowadays at home?
Nothing. So before
Nothing.
no, seriously. So over the last thing, I won't like, this is a crazy hack. My sister has been cooking for me, bro.
How can I hack that for me?
Honestly, she's been like, she'll just cook
But
like
you don't live in the same apartment, right?
no, we don't. Like I would just like
But
give her like I'll just give her like
Bro,
I'll just give her like package because I have those like meal
don't use
prep.
your sister like that.
No, I'm not. I'm taking care of her.
Okay.
It's
How?
like in different ways. Value is an exchange. It can be done in through different
Sure.
reasons. So, but the summary is that like she's doing like, she would cook for her and then she would give me like a whole bag of like different, because for her it's super simple, right? And she just like, it just comes super quick to her. And it's nothing. Whereas for me, it's like this entire process, right?
Sure.
So there's that, and then I stopped doing that for a while. And what I'm now doing is that like, because I've been trying to hit my gym gains, hit protein intake. I don't know if you guys know this thing called Skyr.
Skyr?
Skyr, S-K-Y-R.
It's like a yogurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like
Skyr.
Skyr. Exactly.
It's from Iceland.
That's what I'm saying. I said
Skyr.
Skyr. Okay, thank you. I think I finally. I've been saying Skyr.
I never tried, but I was tempted a few times.
So what I did is I bought these like flavors that have zero calories. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Yeah.
And then basically I buy the Skyrs that have
Skyrs.
that have no taste but also like 50 grams of protein in them.
Yeah, they're
which
really
is a low protein heavy.
in Sweden. That's like the shit for people working out.
Yeah. And
'Cause,
then
yeah.
So what is it made of? Like
it is made of yogurt, but I think how it's made, there's so little fat in it. There's
and
so little,
lots of protein.
a lot of protein. A lot of protein.
Is it
little fat.
tasty or is
No, it doesn't. Well, they do
Doesn't
have
taste
the
much.
ones. They do have ones that have flavors, but those ones have less protein and a bit more sugar.
more sugar? Yeah.
Right, but the
But
one that has
usually
nothing-
it's sugar. Like they use like the fake sugar to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it sweet.
exactly
Like
exactly.
strawberry.
Mhm.
Skyr.
So the strawberry and honey ones, those are the ones with fake sugars. But I've been trying to use these 0 calorie flavors, 0 sugar that I
Mhm.
bought from Amazon. So I bought a pack of 60. So it's a hack. So you still get the taste. You get all the protein from the Skyr, but it tastes a little better that you could eat
I
more.
think some people use like the protein powder
Mhm.
for the gym, and then they mix it with Skyr,
And then you put it inside. That's
and
also
then you got like that chocolate shake,
Yeah.
milkshake that is.
So
Yes,
how
protein.
do you take protein powder as well or no?
So yeah, exactly that as well. But I'm trying to also kind of put more protein into my food. So it's like I'm eating a lot of tuna as well, like tuna and fish. So it's like just one kind of tuna is like 50 grams of protein as well.
I love tuna fish. And
So-
like the cans, I love the cans as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Tastes like cat food.
I can eat that every day.
It's annoying. It's annoying, but I won't lie. I'm telling you, once you eat like one, like something that has, so there are different ways you could do it. You could put it in your food. You could do sandwiches. I think that really works well. You do like 2 sandwiches with that, and then you have one thing of Skyr. You only need 1 meal as well, and then you're full for the day. You're like packed because it's like you just had 100 grams of protein,
Yeah.
and that was like super.
Are we starting?
Easy to get
Are
your
we starting
hands
this episode with sick pics? Oh, nice change.
Yeah, I'm
Mm,
sorry,
you got
guys.
one already.
I opened it up. Maybe we cut this out and then I bring it up at the end.
Okay, let's start the episode.
Yeah.
Yo.
All right. Big welcome to the non-Berlin
Berliners. Skyr.
Welcome. Scared.
Yeah, if the intro is still there, probably not. We talked about Skyr in the intro.
I think we should keep it in.
We can keep it in. Yeah. Then you know what we're
And
talking
we save Josh's sick pic at the end of the episode.
about.
Now we definitely need to keep it in because we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about it already.
Yeah.
Where's
exactly.
the beep button? My sick pic is. All right. Welcome to episode 3, I think.
Nah, bro.
3, 4,
From
4.
the second season.
Doesn't matter that
Yeah,
much. Yeah, it's
episode four,
season 2. New episode. We're back. We're excited. How we feeling?
Excited.
Sounds like it. Excited.
You guys doesn't sound excited.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm out here trying to sort out my mic drama.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I think you need to get used to the weight of the mic in this format that we're doing. But I think once you lock
Yeah.
your arm like that,
Yeah, you lock up.
Yeah, so good. Another episode. We're the non-Berlin Berliners.
Yo.
I'm Isak, or Isak. I don't know why I say Isaac. I'm Isak.
Joshua.
Andres.
Exactly. That's the people. If you didn't know who
Yeah,
we are,
You know.
that's who we are. We're on video. We're gonna keep saying this for everyone that is still audio listening. But we're also on audio. If you don't like video, we have both now. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, everywhere.
Accessible. for
Accessible.
sure.
Yeah. No, so today I'm gonna introduce the topic already.
Right.
Something that I think we talked a little bit about before. Discipline and motivation. That's today's
I
topic.
think it's Joshua's favorite topic, right?
No, funny
No?
enough, I've gotten tired talking about it.
Tired? No, maybe we should skip topic.
Nah, I'm joking, but like,
Is actually the one topic you should not talk about? You should do.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think you just do it.
We can finish the episode
Application.
here. Yeah.
Mm.
application.
Done. 7 minutes episode.
Yeah.
No, so that would be fun. It's also recommended. What is the word when someone is giving you the topic?
Requested.
Requested topic.
Yeah.
So we have gotten some really good topics requested, and
Yeah.
this was one. And I think we could chat about it a little bit today.
Mm-hmm.
It would be fun. But first, I was thinking about. I was talking to a listener this week, and she was like, "I really like the first episode because I don't want any input. I just wanna listen to you guys talk." I thought it was funny. So like she was like, she doesn't want to hear us tell her what to do better or what she need to fix. I
Yeah.
thought that was funny.
Maybe that's because she likes us.
But the talking is nice.
You don't know who it
The
is?
yeah.
I don't know.
No, you don't know who it is.
I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. The talking she likes.
Yeah, like just
Okay.
listening, like, but you don't want, like, sometimes you don't want anyone to tell you what to do, right? You don't want
Yeah.
any input or.
We could do different levels, right? Like the challenging level, nice version of Joshua, discipline version of Joshua.
I don't know. I don't think we even give that crazy input. Like, I feel like our inputs are so super,
Yeah, no,
super double-sided. We're always playing devil's advocate at the same time. Like, we're never 100% like, do X. It's always like, okay, if you want to do X, consider all factors, do it. If you don't want to do it, it's fine as well. Like, I feel like we're very flat. I hear more one-sidedness. in
Maybe
other
that's where
podcasts.
the title doesn't say the whole story, right? Because the title is like, should you be an entrepreneur?
yeah,
Sounds really intense.
Sounds intense, yeah.
But if you listen to the podcast, it's not that intense.
It has, and also it's not. It kind of. Also not a clickbait title. It doesn't get any. Well, maybe I don't know, but I think.
I tried to make it clickbait.
But clickbait title should be why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur in 2023.
Why
2023.
don't why are you not making the title?
2023 entrepreneurs fail. This is why.
Oh, Joshua,
You
you
need to make the title
Yeah.
for next one. Send me the title when I upload this one.
No, but it's true. Like for me, like the whole. I also don't think we're giving input here, but I think we are talking, and we're having good conversations. We have conversations anyway outside of the podcast. That's how we started doing the podcast.
We just talked for like almost an hour outside already.
And
accidentally.
Yeah. By accident. but also like my goal is if through conversations we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
Have different perspective, different stages of life, as we said many times.
Yeah.
But I think that's the goal,
Of the
right?
podcast.
Like,
Yeah.
That's super good that you mention it.
Yeah.
Because that's why we do it. We do it because it's fun to talk and we
Yeah.
want to talk about different topics. And I I like to always mention that people can influence. You know, if you do like us, but you maybe don't like what we talk about, you can just tell us what to talk about because we're probably gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're not that famous.
Exactly.
We're gonna do.
If
we're
we
gonna
get
do whatever.
one request is probably the one.
Exactly, one request is enough. If you say that we should never do a podcast anymore, we might think about it, but probably we'll block you. But that's the. We have a lot of power. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's try to get into this topic. Discipline and motivation. I wrote down. I need to think. I wrote down a question for this. Okay. I want to ask it to you guys. What do you do that is based on discipline in your daily life?
Not much. I won't lie. Not much.
Okay.
Not much. Is like right now. I think probably the hardest thing so far, personally, in my life, is the company, because because I think that takes discipline to do. Just because it's easy to do anything that you're not the one driving into, right? Like I think it's easy to ride a train if you are riding in the train, if you're not the one driving the train. And I think it takes discipline to drive a train forward. So I'll probably say that's the only things that I don't think that take discipline, in my opinion. For example, at least for me, I don't think uni takes a lot of discipline, because I guess maybe it comes a bit normal to me. And yeah, that's just like going to class, doing the thing that everybody's doing, so it should be fine.
I would like
That's
to
interesting,
kind
yeah.
of like re-understand the question or
Sure.
rephrase it, because what do I do in my life that is based on discipline? It's probably nothing as well.
You brush your teeth,
But it's not based on discipline.
isn't it?
I think it's a discipline you do, but it's based on something else.
Based on a habit, you mean?
You mean why
No.
you do it?
Exactly. So I think discipline for me is everything I do to achieve something, right? And
Okay.
but so you're basing something on maybe a vision or a goal that you have, and then you need discipline to get there,
Yeah.
right? And I
Interesting.
think that's how I see it, because I would never wake up in the morning at 7, 6, 5, 4,
3,
3.
2.
You can see I'm lying here. But I never wake up and say like, oh, I want to wake up so early because I'm so disciplined.
Right.
Yeah.
The why is never discipline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that's just painful.
So, because but that's true. Maybe I'm just not understanding the word. Because I thought like discipline is something that maybe you're not that excited to do, but you're doing it because you know it's good.
I think.
Exactly, could be that. Could be. I think it's more like something that you need to consistently do, right?
Yeah. Right.
Something
Yeah.
could be that,
Yeah.
or like it's more like
Yeah,
the action the action part of something.
Okay.
I think.
True, because you. This is me just understanding English here. Because you sometimes say my discipline is programming,
Yeah, but that's in a different context.
but it's the same word, right?
Yeah, exactly. But But in that, actually, yeah.
Is discipline
in
an
that,
action?
So in that scenario, saying my discipline is programming is saying the thing that I've committed my life to consistently doing is programming, right?
Really?
Hence, yeah, that's like in that context, that's what that word means there. But the thing that basically, I don't know, anything that's a discipline
And
or a disciple.
You're the native English, so you should
Exactly.
you should be the one telling us.
And if you are really, really committed to discipline and you made that of your life, then you can say my discipline is
Yeah, no, but it's true, because like that's the thing with like martial artists, right? It's like
True, they say that a discipline.
my
yeah.
discipline, because that thing
Okay.
is a discipline
Yeah,
that they've committed. Like
Yeah.
few people use that term, because
Yeah.
most people who actually do something for work isn't really their discipline. I think
Yeah.
it's people like that really just like the
My
monks.
discipline is money.
If you're a money maker,
I'm done.
My purpose in life is to earn money.
Nah, that's funny.
Capitalism.
that's what happens when we don't let Joshua talk about discipline. We take over and go such a weird direction.
No, but I think for me the definition of discipline is simply just doing whatever needs to get done, whether or not you feel like it. I think that's just it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
it's not like I don't think there's a whole complication thing. It's just like despite your feelings, you did whatever needs to get done. You're disciplined, bro.
But does it make sense for you then that discipline is something that is connected to other thing, right? Like, so you're not basing your actions on discipline just because you want to be a disciplined person. It's more like you want to achieve something, and you need to know that it's a few disciplines that you need to put in place
Exactly.
to achieve that, and that would be with anything.
Exactly.
Actually, anything. You said uni, but uni. You need a discipline, which is like going there every day, studying, all exams, all of that. But you're not doing it because you love exams.
Yeah, I
Right.
think I hate exams. Exactly.
Okay, so you hate exams, but you do it because you know it's gonna give you something.
Yeah, I won't lose my visa. Yes.
Exactly. But that's a
The
good point.
fear is also a good motivator.
Yeah, so because that's a really interesting thought. I didn't think about that. But is it discipline then? Say you're a kid and your parents said you need to take the brush your teeth example again. You need to brush your teeth, and you're like, why? And they're like, I don't know. So you have no why.
I have a really funny story about it.
But
But is it discipline then?
I think, look, my parents showed me a clip, like really old series of cartoons, and then you see like these huge, strong animated cartoons that were like drilling in your teeth, right?
Ah, okay.
And then told me that's what happens. And when you ate sugar, you could see in the cartoons like it's like bags of sugar, and they were getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and building like cities inside your teeth. And then I thought, when I saw that, I'm like, I don't want that to happen in my teeth.
Propaganda
Yeah,
from your
so
parents.
exactly. My vision. That was my vision.
Right. Fear.
Fear.
But fear
Right,
is
I told you, it works. Yeah.
But fear is a really good motivator. I won't even lie to you. I think it's probably even.
Do you
Guys.
do you parent with fear, Andres?
Hey,
Do you parent with fear?
I thought about how do I bring this with with the brushing your teeth to joy, but but she's too small to understand that part.
Yeah, she's not there yet.
Yeah,
But,
so
but I like you guys because it's his first kid, so I think you're gonna
Yeah.
be trying stuff and maybe
Yeah.
do different stuff with the next
Yeah.
kid. If you
I
have
can
one.
keep bringing updates of what works and what doesn't.
Because
Optimization.
Yeah.
I think now you guys are very you want Joy to figure out things herself and make a lot of decisions, right?
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because
Yeah.
I think some people can do it very differently.
Mm-hmm.
But one cool thing is that she's very strong already, right? In
Yeah.
opinions and wants to do stuff.
Yeah, I can tell as well. The way she's like walking around. I was like, Joy, and then she started running. She wanted me to chase her. I was like, wow.
She's like 1 year and 7 months, right? Like
Yeah.
she was
That's crazy.
so funny. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like but it's good to see like that question is really interesting because then you know straight away when you have that responsibility to raise up a child,
Mm-hmm.
you also want to do it right? So you are, but you don't want to necessarily do it how your parents did or what everyone else says because it's your responsibility. But you know there are certain disciplines that she will need to build in her life,
Like brushing her teeth.
like that.
Yeah.
And how do you bring that, right? So I think it's a really good question because that also is gonna reveal how do you understand that for yourself, right?
But that's true because your parents they semi lied, you know. There's not gonna be any people drilling, but your teeth are getting
Yeah.
worse. So
Yeah.
I guess you're making it like
Yeah.
you're covering the truth in
Yeah.
some lies.
I mean, it just kind of like brings a really visual part
Yeah.
that maybe a child needs to understand what's happening inside,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I think it's not necessarily bad. I think it's actually great.
I think it's quite helpful.
Yeah.
So you were still gonna say something, or should I cut you
No,
off?
I was just saying that I think fear is a good motivator, and funny enough, most people do things out of like. I think fear is a stronger motivator. I don't think it's like it's like coffee. I was about to say coffee. It's
Fear
like
is
coffee,
a great motivator, but you
it's
know
not
what is
long term.
but you know what is not good for
Wow.
creativity.
Yeah, yeah,
It's horrible for creativity.
super horrible.
That's really good.
That's true, but I think that's the thing. So I think fear is a good. With fear, you could go fast for a short period of time, and you could go with a lot of intensity. But fear, I don't think is a long-term motivator.
Yeah.
I think you have to have like. I think that's the difference between an unhealthy. For example, engines have different sources of sources that they have to basically run on. And for example, you could say like fear is maybe not the healthiest, but it's definitely super effective for a short period of time. But you can't extend that over a long period of time.
It's like nitro in those cars, you know. Nitro.
Exactly. You just press the
Oh, man,
boom
when when I play that video games,
Need
you
for
are so
Speed?
good. Yeah, Need for Speed.
Yes,
Need for Speed
Underground.
Most Wanted.
Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah, I played the first versions that were going online.
Nice.
Nitro was always great.
Yeah, I used to always play Most Wanted, Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Mhm,
Yeah,
that's
that
a
was also
classic.
really good, yeah.
Good music in that one.
No, but I think like okay, let's put your example, Joshua. Like you're studying at uni, right? And then you don't want to lose your visa. That's the fear part.
Yeah.
But the other part is like you are studying because you want to do something good for the society. We talked a few times about in Nigeria, like what could you do with your studies? So one thing is vision, and the lowest motivator is fear,
Yeah.
right? If your vision is not strong enough, I think you're gonna drop down to the fear motivation, which is like I want to stay here, right? So how can I keep at least the minimum? So I think fear kind of doesn't make sense. It's the minimum level of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to change that, if you build it with vision, you are getting a higher level of motivation there. Yeah,
for sure. I think the people with vision definitely last longer. For example, like I don't know if I told you guys, but I've been reading the letters that I've been reading a lot of books, and I've been reading the letters that Jeff Bezos wrote to his investors when they were in 1990, from 1997 all the way downwards. And it's just like seeing, because the competition in the landscape of e-commerce has changed over like the last 25, 30 years. And just seeing that landscape of someone who had vision to stick it through despite hard times and like go in the minus consistently because of this vision. And I think that's the power of vision, and that's how far you can go when you are motivated by something that's big. However, I also think like, at the beginning it's hard to have vision if a lot of things are not in place. Like, if there are basic foundations that are not set, and at least how I'm trying to see it now is that like whatever works for today works. And if you need to get it done with fear, just get it done.
Yeah.
And before it used to be like, oh yes, it sounds really cool if you have this thing that's super motivating from the vision side. But I think now for me, how I'm saying is like, if you feel like fear is the thing, push as far as you can. And once you have the space to stop, analyze, restructure, and put vision in front.
Yeah.
It's always this thing that also happens to entrepreneurs that like have a lot of money, and then once they sell their company and then they have like whatever, I don't know, once you sell your company, it's a 10 million company, you set it 10x, you have 100 million in the bank account, and it's like, okay, what next? What do I do?
I guess, but that's because I guess fear and what's the word of it? Like you need to have something that like depending on your actions, something happens. What is that word?
What?
Consequences.
Consequences.
Yeah.
Like because fear and consequences can be similar, but they don't have to be the same thing.
Yeah.
But I guess everything needs to have a consequence, otherwise stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Same with business, right? If you have no consequence, if you're gonna succeed this year or in 10 years, there's no motivation maybe.
For example, I think there are always consequences, but with vision, the consequences you can't tell, right? So anything that is long term, anything that's farther ahead, there are always consequences, right? Like if you're choosing something that you shouldn't be choosing to get to that thing, you are paying for that thing. The only difference is you can't see the consequences that you are paying, because you are paying time debt, you are paying ignorance debt, right? But you don't know, you can't tell, because you are only seeing what is in front of you, of like all the things I'm getting in exchange for that, right? So I think it's like, I don't know, fear is helpful, but I think even there are also consequences for vision as well, like long term.
I also heard something really good which got my attention, was about motivation, right? Like how motivation works, and also what is education.
What is education?
Exactly, meaning like something that motivates you only is not going to help you long term, but if you learn something new, that's what's going to help you long term. So you educate on something, right? Same example with the studies. And that with the discipline comes again, right? So we watch so many things on motivation, getting motivated more, but that's not really need a long-term thing, right? It's just connected to something that is in the moment. Like you feel good about it, you can be motivated, but what is when you don't feel good about it? But if you start a discipline of educating, learning new things about something that you want to do, I think that's the whole thing. And also really what you said with how do you mention that, like consequence. I thought I listened to something from Jim Rohn, like 80s style. I really love it. And then he talked about discipline, and he said like at one point of your life you're gonna need to suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I thought,
I get it.
That's really cool, because like it's true, it's painful to do a discipline every week.
Sure.
Every day.
But the consequence is, if you don't do that, you're gonna suffer regret.
But you won't regret now. Exactly, is the future. The future debt.
So everything has a pain connected to it, right? Like how can you?
That's a good point. But we're usually, there's definitely cases where this happens, but I think usually we don't regret hard work, depending maybe when you do it, and if it was a total waste, I mean, hopefully we got something out of it.
Exactly.
Again, it just depends on the work. If you do hard work for a company and you're just a small part, maybe. Yeah,
that's what. But I think that's the thing that Andres is saying, is that like you don't regret the hard work. It's just hard to do. So you can either choose to do the hard thing or deal with the fact that you are going to regret not doing the hard thing.
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's why it's thought about, because like it's true. Maybe like you often don't like look back at hard work and think like, oh, why did I do that?
Why didn't? Yeah, it's more of the stuff you didn't do.
Yeah.
True that. Even when I looked back when I was 16 or 17 and started working, even like hard work, physically hard work.
Yeah.
I look back now and I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of myself that I did that, right? I never look back and think like, oh, what a waste. I was doing something with physical work. Well, it's really good.
Right. For example, take this example. You build a shelf for yourself at home. You never look back and think like, oh, it took
100 hours.
Or wait, maybe your motorcycle. You built back your motorcycle. It took a lot of hours, right?
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but do you think back and say, I should have paid someone to do it instead?
No, because it's like, and that's the other part, because what I learned in the process, I think it's more the time I had to spend doing it, because I learned so much about it that it gave me a new understanding of things.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing I take with me, because I'm like, yeah, I did it, I sold it later, and I don't have it anymore. But I learned so much through it. Maybe I would not do it again now.
Maybe you would never use that knowledge.
But I feel good that I could achieve something that I was never thought I could until I started doing it. And it was so many challenges through the process, so many, and the whole like problem solving through something. I mean, YouTube helped me a lot.
Yeah.
But you had to learn. Once you start, like either you give up halfway or you need to finish it.
Yeah.
I think that's a mental health encouragement also for people. If everything is just feeling really boring and like without purpose, like you can ask yourself, am I doing anything in my week that is hard? Maybe you do. Like maybe you're not the person I'm thinking about, but I think like periods of my life where I'm not doing anything tough, usually I'm less happy.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that's how the human system is kind of wired, right? Is you have to first do hard things, and once you achieve those hard things, then you feel proud of yourself. What I definitely wanted to ask you guys was, so if someone was asking, okay, so I have this thing, I don't know, I feel like there are lots of people that tell themselves, I think I want to be disciplined. Like as funny as it sounds, a lot of people like, I want to be disciplined. What would you guys?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like exactly, because that's the first question. Where the question is always why, and but you guys answer because funny enough, I feel like I've heard that very often of someone comes to me and is like, Joshua, you're very disciplined. How'd you wake up at 5 a.m.? I want to be disciplined. Like, and I don't know what to say. So what do you guys think? What do you say to that of someone saying, I want to be disciplined, quote unquote, and then how do you follow up with that?
I think from my personal experience, everything you say comes from somewhere, right? If we look at ourselves, every questions we ask comes from somewhere. Every comment you make comes from somewhere in you. So if someone is saying that to you, where is it coming from? Where is it coming that from? They see in you something that they maybe like for their life, but they are not doing it. And maybe they're unhappy because of that. They know they're watching until late videos and then really tired in the morning. It's kind of like maybe, I don't know, maybe something that they know, I could do better with this. And I see that in you that you are doing better. That's why I want to be more disciplined. Maybe. Yeah. But I think like it's coming from somewhere. It's just not randomly. And what I said before, you don't wake up, I want to be more disciplined today. For what?
Yeah.
Like if you will be doing great, you will not ask that question.
Yeah. You would just be doing it.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's more understanding where is that person right now and how can you help them to take the next step. What we said, like start doing something that you started the process and then you are in the process. It's better than otherwise. It's always that tomorrow I need to go to bed earlier, and tomorrow is gonna be the same like today. And then you say tomorrow I need to go to bed earlier again, right? You always why?
But I think that's also interesting point. Thinking about your values then. So for example, if I value, let's make up an example here. Like both me and my wife go to bed very late, like 1 a.m. ish every night, 12 maybe on weekdays. If I never want to see my wife, I would wake up 5 a.m. in the morning and then go to bed at 7, 8. And then, we will never see each other. Yeah. It's like just a stupid example. But what I mean then is that you make decisions. Maybe you make decisions to wake up early and that you call as a discipline. But then you can't do both. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Same example for me, Isak. Like if I want to see Joy as well, if she goes to bed at 5, I would never see her in the whole week. So she goes to bed a bit late with us, and she's like super excited running. I don't know how it's gonna be with school, but right now, I love that more. That I spend more time with her, more than she's going to bed at 5, 6, and then.
And that's why I think we've said it so many times now, but that's why the why is so important. So if you look at someone that wakes up at 5 a.m., that's really impressive. And if you want to be that person, go for it.
Yeah.
But you need to figure out your why.
Okay, so how do I find this why? How do people find this why that you guys are talking? What is this why?
Great question.
A great question. Yeah.
I don't know why I should wake up 5 a.m. I'm not the one doing it.
But that's what I mean. Like, I think it would be great to ask, like, or find out what is inside of that person or inside of you that you want to be more disciplined because of something. So what is that something? Because if someone is telling you, I want to be more disciplined, it's not only the waking up time. Like you can wake up at 10 or you can wake up at 5 and be horrible with finances,
Yo.
right? Like it doesn't change your finances just because you even maybe spend more electricity waking up earlier. So why would you want to wake up earlier? And maybe that's not the discipline you need. Maybe discipline is like when it comes to finances, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to how you speak, when it comes to how you dress. I don't know. It's many disciplines that you can change in your life that it's going to have an impact on what you do.
Yeah.
Or even like, and I think even if you take a step back, if you think of the philosophy of how you see your life or how you see work, even all of that is gonna have an impact on the disciplines you take. If you see like Monday to Friday, great, Friday, go out, wasted until Monday again. But then on Monday I want to wake up at 5.
Yeah.
Well, maybe take a bigger look to the whole week, not only to that moment of waking up at 5. And I think that's where you find the why. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. That's a valid point.
Yeah, and something I've seen some people, their why of waking up early is that they have a very busy evening. So for to get a workout in, they need to wake up 1 hour early in the morning.
Okay, so working out, for example, could be a good why.
Then the why is I need to work out. Is that another discipline?
Okay.
But why do you want? And I think like,
Why do you want to work out?
how do you want to work out?
We're gonna sound like
exactly.
a broken record.
Summer is coming.
Why?
Yeah.
Summer is coming. There are many reasons. Like summer is coming, want to be more healthy, bones are cracking, Like
Exactly. So,
but why do you have to look good on the beach?
it could also be like, why are your bones cracking? Like why?
Your bones?
No, like for example, if you have like I don't know, injuries or like your back is, because I also know if you don't, for example, at least for me being tall, if I'm not like consistently working out, if I'm not consistently exercising, after a while I just like start to have back pain. I start to have like,
You start deteriorating.
yeah, exactly. Just because I've been.
I would say like I'm thinking right now, like for anyone listening, I would say like if don't be hard on yourself neither. We're gonna go from 0 to 100 like that. Start somewhere. Some people maybe think I want to start reading. I see Alberto, he reads a lot, and I want to read also one book every 2 weeks. Well, maybe you don't enjoy reading.
Why do you want to read?
Yeah. So why would you want to read? Just it looks good on someone else, and then you want that for you.
Yeah.
If what you want is the knowledge, find a way to get that.
But you said something really interesting there. I think the why shouldn't be because it looks good. Because that usually maybe we're like, I want to read because I heard it's cool to be a reader. Then you're not going to read anything.
I saw someone in the park doing it. And
exactly.
Cool.
It looks very good aesthetics too.
And then I can post in my Instagram as well. Like, why do you want to do it? If you want to learn about certain things, you can watch videos, you can put podcasts, you can put audiobooks, you can find a way that works for you. And I think that's easier than at least you started the process. And then maybe you end up reading 20 books a year. It's fine. But what is the thing that's going to help you? I think this book on habits is really good.
The James Clear book?
Yeah.
What's Atomic Habits?
Yeah, I just watched on YouTube like a summary, one guy that with animations and everything on that book. And I think it's really interesting, a few things that he says on how to start new habits. So things like that can help you. But I think like I would always say like if you are really hard on 0 to 100 from one day to the next, it's probably also not sustainable.
That's very true as well, right? How can you play the long game? That's true. That's true.
And I mean, like us talking about it now, like for example, being transparent. I don't know how many habits I have in life. Like I have Saturdays now for podcast. So that's and the big why is because I want to do a podcast. I like it. Blah 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 blah. All these things. And then the other habit is go to work in the morning. I have the first meeting. That's the one I need to be on, and then I'm at work.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the habits.
Which is so weird because like my life has really been the opposite, and I'm even like I've never had one thing that I'm just doing. Well, there's always like 4 things or 5 things that go in different directions, and it's like, like, and it's I think it's very interesting, but at the same time, it's like I don't think it's wrong. I even think it's better because, funny enough, in my opinion, it's like if you can put all your concentration, your entire concentration in one thing, it's easier to see a higher return on investment in that thing.
And life is not only about the task, then you need to have relationships in between all those things.
Exactly.
And we usually never say, you're so good at having 5 relationships at the same time.
Yeah,
no one says that.
Right.
Like, you're so good at keeping friends.
Exactly. But those things actually take time, but no one actually plans those things out as well, right? So funny enough, it's like when you plan, oh, I'm just doing this one thing. Actually, you're probably also doing 3 things at the side that you're not consciously thinking about, that you're actively doing, you know?
Yep.
Could it be just that also like here the age that we have, different stages of life, can also have an influence on that?
No, for sure.
Because, for example, Isak has like some habits that maybe you are doing automatically and you don't think about them anymore.
Exactly.
And you're thinking now about the 2 maybe that are like, okay, they're waking up and that, but maybe you're 22. So you're also deciding of what values, what habits are connected to that values do I want for my life? Could be that more like more decision time that you're thinking about what habits do I want to build? Because once you just got married, I've been married over 10 years now, and some things are already there. I don't think that are habits, but are habits already that I kind of established. It's like how you build your family.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's more difficult to change now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's true. That could be a valid point as well. I think that's probably it. That's the thing. And I think the hardest, well, it's not, I don't think anything really is hard, but the most interesting and challenging part is like, choosing what you want to do in a long-term way. Because I think, like you said, it's easy to think, oh, I'll be 20 forever. And then it's like, no, you have time. You get to 40, just take your time, but keep on sticking with it. The last thing I wanted to just add, at least from my own opinion, was that regarding discipline and motivation, I personally think you don't have to feel like it to do it. I think you tend to feel like it after you are good at it. I don't know. I think we brought this thing up in one of the previous podcasts of this cycle of confidence. And at least for how I see the cycle of confidence for most people is that people like what they are good at. But the thing is, anything you do for the first time, you're not good at it, right? So how do you like it, right? So that's like, which is most times when people complain about something and like they don't have motivation for that thing, most times it's because the thing that they are doing is probably either because they're not good at it, right? And it's normal. Like nobody likes sucking at a thing at the beginning. But I think if you can have a perspective that like, okay, I know I'm going to suck till I don't suck, and then I get good at this thing. And then the moment that like you get that feedback now for different people is different. What the definition of good is. How like some people after one day of sticking to a hard workout, they're like super proud of themselves and they feel like they're good, and that's enough to start the feedback. Right. Some people need to work out for a year, get 6 packs and be like, oh, I actually finally. It doesn't matter. But I think once you feel confident that you actually get good at the thing, it's easier to channel that into the next thing. So the point that I was just trying to make is that like with this thing with discipline and motivation, I think Andrews talked about it in one of the previous podcasts between external and internal motivation. But what I also think is really helpful is saying it like, if you can define your why and then you just act nevertheless, and you give yourself unreasonable proof why this thing should happen or why you are good at this thing, I think it is easier to then have this pure motivation everybody talks about. So, for example, it's like, if you want to start working or if you want to get fit, let's say that's the why or whatever, and there could be a reason we could ask. Yeah. But if there's like that thing and basically you are doing everything that you can to get to that point, and it's like it's hard to not believe in it, you know? I don't know how to explain it properly, but if
once you're doing it,
exactly, once you've done all the actions to make the result you want unreasonable to happen, it's hard to not have the motivation to want to continue because most likely it will happen, and it will happen way quicker than you think. Yeah. So just don't wait to feel like it. Do it first, and then once you get good at it and you are confident in yourself, it just becomes this pure cycle that keeps on going.
Can I add on that? Because I think like on the external motivation and internal motivation that you mentioned, I think also I think the only valid long-term real one is the internal motivation. Yeah. Because that's the one that you are with you all the time, right? So if you need external things, externals can change, but you are with you. But I also would say the external motivation is if you have that right now, you can use that momentum to build some internal as well. Yeah. You know, so you say like getting fit. If you go with someone, you kind of have someone else that is motivating you as well. You are doing it together with someone. It could be for a season, but you could use that to build something internal for you. Exactly. And that gives you momentum, helps you to be consistent. So I think friends, community, like all these things that we know that are helpful, I think they help us to motivate each other. Exactly. And doesn't mean that needs to be always like that. That's why
coaches exist pretty much.
Yeah. But also fear as well. I also feel like fear is also like fear helps to get in that cycle going. Like to be very honest, like it's the truth. If you're afraid of losing your visa, and then that's what helps you pass your exams.
If you're afraid of dying early,
then you work out. Like literally, it's the whole you have diabetes, you're dying in 2 months. If you don't change your life, boom, you lose 100 pounds after 5 months. Like that kind of thing. And I think that's the thing that kickstarts the journey. But from that point, once you get confident and you get good at it, it's always easier to keep the cycle rolling, kind of get momentum, you know. So
I have a really practical example for me right now at home, because I have a drum set and a guitar now. And drums I played my whole life, so I'm quite good at it. Guitar I never really played, so I'm quite bad. I'm playing drums every single day now, just because it's so easy to get into it, because I know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I can just practice every day. And I'm loving it, it's fun, blah, blah, blah. And it's just so easy to do. Like, it's not something I have to do my drums today. It just comes automatically.
Exactly.
But guitar doesn't come automatically. Because I know when I sit at the guitar, I'm going to feel like I'm struggling. I'm going to, what do I have to hold to press this? And so on and so on. And I didn't think about it like that. But now when you said it, I thought that was so interesting. Because I did the foundational work of being good at something, this daily repetitions are so easy. But the opposite with something that I'm not really, I don't have the foundation yet.
And I think the hack simply is that if you know you want to, then you just have to turn off your mind to looking for the result and just focus. Let the goal be the daily actions. So like if instead of the goal being good at guitar, the goal has to be like, just make sure you have the guitar session every day, you know? And if you can focus on that till you get to the point where it becomes, you know, this, the cycle that it just like flows with a lot of momentum, then it becomes easy.
I think on that process, at least for me, what I experienced is always really discouraging when you start doing something and then you stop. Like, you know, for any reasons, like you just maybe a bit more lazy for that week, or was more circumstance around, whatever reason, right? And then kind of like, you know that you lost a bit. And the thought, at least for me, the thought to think, okay, I need to regain what I lost and then keep growing, that can also put you off quickly if you don't have, and I think that's where you need the vision strong.
It's funny, right? Because not doing it at all is not going to make it any better, right? It's going to make it even worse.
I know, but
still we think like that,
At least for me, I think like that. Like with exercise, it's easy, right? Like, so you lost a bit, and you know it's gonna get harder to get back to where you were. Yeah. And that thing is like it's really difficult to break if you don't have that vision in front. Okay, this long term, it's not this week, it's not this month.
Exactly.
Right? At least I don't know. That's my.
No, I agree.
What I find it's not for me. It's not usually easy at the beginning. It's difficult halfway through when you had a difficult week.
Yeah, I think so as well. When things actually get hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we last time, because I think we have talked about it, but we haven't pointed directly at motivation. Okay. Do you want to say anything about motivation?
As for motivation, I think. Motivation generally, we kind of talked about with external motivation, but in the context of what we mean, I'm guessing when Isak says motivation, he's talking about like the thing that kind of fires you forward. So I think we are talking about more of like, you know, reading stuff that remind you of why you're doing what you're doing, right? So we talked about this word like motive, the reason behind it is the word for motivation. That's the reason why you're trying to do the thing. So motivation basically is like having a reminder of what the why is. And most of the time, it never really is long term. It's always very short term. And it really doesn't do anything, because if you don't turn that into action, if there are no results that you can see, that's the problem I have with motivation, right? So, but motivation basically is just like having a reminder of your why, your motive, your reason.
That's really cool then, because we talked about discipline in the beginning, and we said you need to have a why to do the discipline. So is our summary then that discipline and motivation are working together?
Yes.
I think so. And I think also for me, that sounds a bit funny, but I think you can plan your motivation. Yeah. If it makes sense.
How do you do that?
Let's say like you are a person that you're thinking right now that I'm not motivated, or it can happen to all of us, right? Different moments of the year. Like, how can you plan to get new vision or to get motivated? Okay. For me, what works, I need to plan for it, because I know out of my every week, every day cycle, it's difficult to get new motivation. Yeah. So let's say I take 1 hour. I know that day I have a bit more of headspace. Take 1 hour, 2 hours, go to a cafe, like get my notebook, get my notes, write things. Point. Yeah. I'm planning something that is usually not, you don't think about that like planning motivation, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to put a language to it.
No, it's true. Like reminding yourself of your motive.
Yeah. And I think that's at least what I try to do with Sheila as well, with my wife, on beginning of the year, halfway through. Take some time to write things down. And maybe it doesn't work at once. It's totally fine. go next week, go in a couple of weeks and try to do it again. And it's a bit like this creation process that we always think that this great idea is gonna just come. But if you're not working and just comes, it disappears again. But if it comes while you're working, that's where it has a big impact.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think with motivation could be a bit the same. We sometimes think that, oh, I like this person, is so motivated. I don't have any motivation. I don't know what to study. I don't know what to choose. I don't know. I have so many options. But why don't you plan then some time for that? Right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Usually we wait for the motivation to do something, but we should probably do something to get the motivation.
Yeah,
if you don't have the motivation, I would say it's a really practical way of doing it.
And once you get it, turn that as quickly as possible into actions and discipline. Because I think the quicker you can get feedback from that thing, the quicker that thing can have a life of its own and just start to multiply quickly. Because I think I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but there have been some habits in your life, I'm guessing, that just came super easy and just moved from like, I was never doing that thing. I started doing it and I just randomly became consistent with it. Yeah. And I think those things are the things that we quickly get positive feedback from. And then basically subconsciously we don't just know that the thing is working out, but we believe it. So we continue to improve the thing. You know what I mean? Like, whereas it's like, so for example, I feel like with basketball, it was like, okay, or like, I don't know, with people who are athletic. So there are maybe two types of people. One guy isn't as athletic. One guy is maybe naturally athletic. They don't have any experience in a particular sport. They both try, but the guy who is more athletic gets feedback of like, oh, this came easy to me. Or I did well. And then that forces him to put more, not forces him, but that encourages him to put more time into it. Hence, he gets better. Opposite for the other guy. Doesn't get good feedback the first time. Doesn't stick with it. The other guy is sticking with it. Hence, he keeps on getting feedback that he's the better person. Obviously, maybe he did have an unfair advantage at the beginning, but that unfair advantage was just enough to get enough feedback to keep on putting in. Whereas the other guy was the opposite thing. He got bad feedback, immediately started going in the opposite direction. And I think it's like, how quickly can you take the motivation, have momentum, turn that into something that's like consistent, and then that feedback is what keeps you going. Because
that's so good.
Motivation, just like, I feel like once you get motivated for something and that thing doesn't turn into feedback, it takes a lot more to do it again, right? So if you got motivated, you didn't take action and get feedback, to do that thing again for the same thing is way harder. Like if you try to get fit once and you didn't, to try and get fit for the second time,
that's
requires a lot more effort, right? It's like same thing with coffee or getting drunk. You need a lot more alcohol than the last time to get drunk. You need a lot more coffee to be caffeinated. If you take coffee, whereas like for me, I never drink coffee. Like one cup is like, I'm already, in the stars. So it's like stuff like that. And I think once you start to see from those perspectives, it helps. So like, I think as you said, putting enough weight on both of those things, because actually both of them are quite important.
Interesting. That's good.
Yeah.
Thanks guys for this topic. I thought that was cool. Gonna wrap this episode up here. And as always, before we wrap up, we want to hear some sick pics from the gang.
So, as you guys, I was talking about many things. First of all, we talked about Skyr. I don't know.
Yeah,
Skyr. So, I'm going to sick pick Skyr, even though I said it at the beginning of the... I've been trying to hit my... I was trying to hit, 70% of my body weight in pounds in protein. And like, I'm trying to, first of all,
Why do you use pounds?
Because that's how you... Like, that's the easiest way to... Not the easiest way, but that's the amount of protein you need to take to gain weight.
But why do you use pounds? Do you use that in
It's
Nigeria?
in pounds. No, we don't use pounds in Nigeria, but it's like the amount of grams of your body weight in pounds is how much grams of protein you need to take. So if I'm like about, I think 185 to 190 pounds, I think.
Oh, so it's like almost a direct translation?
Exactly. So like
cool.
Anything between like 70, some people take 100%, some people even take more, but like from 70% is like already solid. So I'm trying to get 70% of that, 65 to 70% of that of protein intake per day. So I already have like maybe a solid amount, but I'm like, how can I chug in a good 100 grams of protein per day? And honestly, my guy, Skyr, he's been giving me the most I need. Like obviously we have tuna, we have like other stuff as well, but it's like, I think that really works. And I don't know, it just makes you cold-hearted, but there's nothing like taking yogurt that has no taste. You just feel like you're heartless.
So you
put some honey or something.
You're eating yogurt that has no taste and tuna every day.
With different things. So it's like tuna sandwiches, tuna with noodles, tuna with other stuff. But it's like I'm definitely
I think first of all, you need some vision in your food department.
Yeah, I think maybe. See, guys, if you need, like, if you have hope for me or you have advice, and you want to help me out, I'm here for you. But
next podcast
on the comments, please, some
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 tips.
advice for
Exactly.
Next
for me.
podcast, you bring the breakfast. Yeah, you bring tuna and Skyr.
But anyway, and then what I was doing, like a hack to help the Skyr taste way better, was I got these zero calorie flavors. So they have zero sugar, 0 calories from Amazon, and then people use them to make like punch and stuff like that. So you get those, and then you put that in the Skyr. So there's still no sugar. It doesn't taste as horrible,
Nice.
and it's still very heavy protein. So that's a good one. And
That's a good
then
hack.
once you have just those two, you're already at 100 grams per day. To hit the last like 20 to like 40 grams of protein is nothing. If you have 2 meals a day or even 1 meal a day, it's like easy. You hit 40 grams of protein.
It's a
So
good advice for inflation days as well.
yeah.
True.
If you can get your steak,
Oh my goodness.
get your
Get your Skyr.
yeah.
Nah, but yeah,
Good.
I'll stop there.
Do you have one on
I'm gonna stay with the whole food. Well, drink process. I'm gonna pick because you did the Aeropress, I think, sometime back. But I'm gonna pick a Aeropress recipe I'm doing right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Right?
Yeah.
If you want like a cappuccino in the morning or a flat white or like an espresso taste,
Sure.
what I'm doing just quickly. If you want to try that, if you have an Aeropress, is upside down, 16 grams of coffee, 60 grams of
16.
16
Yeah,
of
16.
coffee, 60 of water.
Mm-hmm.
You put it on
Hot water.
hot water, boiled water. Mix it quickly, 2 minutes. Then you turn it around, and you press quick, and even can get some crema out of the coffee.
Interesting.
I tried it this morning.
Was it good?
It's good. I
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah. I mean, I make it. We do it a cappuccino
You do it a bit different, right? Like when you do it
at
at home.
Yeah,
You
similar.
don't wait any minutes.
No,
Yeah.
similar but different. It's 14 grams coffee, 75 grams water.
And my recipe is like hours of research on YouTube, so I'm just giving a sick pick that people can save a lot of
Yeah.
time here.
Pass it on. Pass it on.
I see.
That's good. Yeah. So exactly. So get yourself first on Aeropress and
Yeah.
then do this recipe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You will thank us.
If you want it again, I can write it in the comments if someone
Exactly.
asks
Yeah.
specifically for
For
it.
the coffee addicts is there.
I always pick like apps and stuff. So I have a new app. I found it yesterday. It's called Moises.
Moises.
Moises. I'm gonna double check.
How do you spell that?
Moises.
Yeah, like I thought.
Moises.
That's what I thought.
It's really sick. Wait, I can even show. I can even show. And it's really sick. I can even show an example here. Yeah, I can just play this song here. Wait. Yeah, exactly. Okay, everyone. This is loud. Okay, everyone hears this. Wait, let me a little bit less loud. And then I can remove drums. Listen, no drums. And then I can do only vocals. I can remove vocals, only drums. Isn't that sick?
With every song?
With any song. So you upload this song to this app, and then they take out each part of the song. And you can, for example, if you're a singer, you can remove the vocals, or you play only the vocals to understand how they do it. And I can do that with drums. So, for example, if I practice drums, I can listen how the drums go. And then when I actually play, I just remove the drums from the song.
It's
Play.
awesome. This is
Interesting.
awesome.
So cool.
Well,
And
are
it's-
you doing
it's-
that for popular songs? Is there like copyright and stuff like that? How do you handle that with songs that are not basically? I mean, are all the songs on Spotify on this thing? Or
No, you have to upload a file, an audio file.
Okay.
So what you can do, you can download, like you can do YouTube to MP3, then take that
Download.
MP3 and upload.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
Like the separation of the channels, right? Like
yeah. Of course, there's no perfect way to
Yeah, yeah.
separate things
Mhm.
because what you need, how to do this, how to do this is you need to separate the frequencies, the correct one, and it's almost impossible because, for example, my voice can be the exact same frequency as a cymbal.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to
Yeah.
to separate them
100%,
100%. But this is using AI, so it's trying its best to
Ah,
get
man,
around
so
and
good.
everything. So it's cool.
That's
cool.
so nice. But my question would be: only the songs you upload you have access to, or
Yeah.
do they also have like a catalog of songs?
You
I'm sure they have a catalog,
no,
but not.
no catalog.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you wanted to do it the illegal way, you just do
Yeah.
YouTube to MP3.
Yeah, but that's more. For example, if you wanted to learn a song, learn how to maybe play the guitars or learn how to drum
Yeah.
a particular session of a song, then it could
Yeah.
be okay. That makes sense. That's
Exactly.
really cool. Is the app free?
Or it's free for I think like 5 songs a month,
Okay.
and then I think it's 40 euros for a year,
Okay.
3 euros a month. So it's quite a good price. I maybe will buy it. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah, it
sure yet.
depends on how often you
Maybe,
use it.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Would be awesome as a plugin on Chrome or something, right? Like that you
Mhm.
already have it there when YouTube is on, and kind of like. Has
But
the
it takes.
connection.
You need to process it, so it
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
like some minutes to process the
Okay.
song. So Yeah,
That's
you
true.
need to
But
upload
that
it.
sounds interesting. How much is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is like $40 a month.
ChatGPT is 20 euros a month.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's very different.
Yeah,
product.
it's all very different. Yeah. I was just, it's crazy. Yeah, AI is
Yeah.
taking over.
All right, that's the episode. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thanks, guys,
Have a
for,
good
for
one.
chatting. Thanks, guys, for watching, listening. See you next week.
See you.
See
Ciao,
you.
ciao.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Ciao.